welcome to the Science Faction Podcast, where science meets fact meets fiction.
This is Science Faction for the week of April 13th, 2026. I'm one of your hosts, Stephen Dominguez, and with me today, two individuals that I'm staring at because I can see them on video, but you can't.
I'm Benjamin Daniel Lawless, and yeah, we the rumors are true. We forced Devon to get onto a video call with us.
He looks
Devon
hideous.
Craft, I'm here.
He just looks like a monster.
He's beautiful. He's a beautiful little beautiful guy.
Unique snowflake, I think, is what you're looking for.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, Devon's here. Hi, Devon.
here.
Tell us,
Hi, Devon.
you were not here last week, and we had a terrible recording. But
We had a good time.
We had a good time.
terrible recording.
Terrible recording, and we missed you, Devon. What happened, man?
I was sick. Our whole family got sick. It started with our youngest Elliot, and then it was me, and then it was Nolan, and then Jen.
What was it?
We're not sure. It didn't test positive for COVID or the flu.
Okay.
But it seemed, it was kind of an upper respiratory thing. It was definitely lungs, sinuses, headaches, fever, joint pain. Not so much like at least for me, it wasn't really like a stomach thing. Like my stomach wasn't really ever that upset, but it was like everything else.
Everything else was upset.
Everything else was upset, yeah. So.
And
This
how
is
long?
very upsetting.
How long did it last, man? Like a day, a couple days, a week?
I still am getting over the cough, but like the actual like feeling sick, I think started Friday, and even Sunday I was pretty out of it. Monday, I would like that the worst part of it probably lasted 2 or 3 days.
Okay. That's
As long,
great,
usually I
but-
feel like when I get sick, yeah, but I feel like when I get sick, it's like a day, but as you get older, it gets longer and longer.
And we are getting older.
When you're getting older.
Just speak for yourselves.
Oh yeah, I forgot about your Benjamin Button disease, Ben.
Yeah. yeah. The deal I made with the devil all those years ago. Like, be annoying and grow younger. That's those are the things.
Those are the things.
that I do.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, Devon, welcome back to the podcast. Hopefully, you can survive the entire episode.
Was last week a spring break for you and your family, Devon?
Our spring break is like a week or two earlier. When we went to Eureka Springs 3 weeks ago, whenever that was our kids' spring break.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, they had to. Was that the water boiling week?
Yeah.
No, that's from months ago. That was the end of January.
Oh,
Ah.
time.
That's the last time I was sick. Also, I've been sick twice in like 2 months, which is really crazy. I feel like I go years without getting sick.
Jeez.
What does RFK say about all this? What do you got to do to get healthy, man?
He says to I'm vaccinated. Yeah.
His translator
the troll-
droids need to step up because it's not working.
Because that troll under the bridge is
I think
Yeah.
it's funny. It's okay to make fun of his voice, right? It's like we don't make fun of people who have disabilities, but he's such a bad person. It's like, yeah, we can make fun of his crazy voice, right?
Well, he's like
Seems like everybody does. Everyone on the left makes fun of him and does the voice. So
well, because he's from like tobacco and stuff. Like he did it to himself. It's not like he's naturally like that.
it was a condition. I don't know if it was from throat cancer.
Well, I don't care.
I know
enough
he
to
had a
look
brain
into
worm
it.
too, which I think he had a brain worm, which people make fun of, and I think that's due to whatever lifestyle he has, where he'll just eat raw meat or whatever.
Good thing he's in charge of all of our health. What a terrible timeline. Well, speaking of timelines,
Yeah.
let me just do a quick segue here.
sure.
Because you guys don't care
Please.
about this, but I do. Avengers Doomsday is
Sorry. It's a neurological disorder, so
Avengers Doomsday is
It's
liking
definitely-
Marvel films is a neurological disorder.
it's diagnosable for sure. but that's, you can make fun of dumb people. That's fine because they're dumb. Avengers Doomsday is getting amazing test audience scores.
Okay, good.
It's getting likened to Infinity War. So
Okay.
and you know, that was a banger. So yeah, that's kind of good news, I guess. That at least it's a good movie. Sounds like. I don't think it's going to be revolutionizing anything, but it's pretty neat.
So it's coming out after Spider-Man, though, right?
Yes, it's
Okay.
December. It has a December release date. Spider-Man has like a July release date. We got Daredevil. Here's the path to success. Daredevil season 2, Punisher special presentation, new Spider-Man movie. Wait some months. New Avengers movie. That's the Marvel.
This is all
way.
things. Wait, isn't Daredevil season 2 already come out?
It's currently releasing weekly.
Okay.
Yeah,
Gotcha. Okay.
and it's been wonderful. It's been a really great show. Last week's was
cool.
They're doing like Bullseye stuff now. Like they've done Bullseye before, but like they finally got him in his suit. He's crazy. It's great stuff. There was a whole scene in the last episode where he was in a diner with a bunch of ne'er-do-wells, and he was just taking them out with forks and stuff. It was beautiful.
Okay.
So yeah, speaking of timelines, we'll see what happens in Avengers Doomsday, but yeah, there's the rumors swirling around that movie and events happening, plus the Secret Wars that's coming after it next year. It's gonna be some crazy Marvel stuff before their giant reboot, and then diving into X-Men world. So you know.
Oh, I see. Okay, okay. So this is not including X-Men, or no?
No,
we've
like
already seen the X-Men in
the Fox X-Men. Yeah, the Fox X-Men are showing up in Avengers Doomsday. That we know for sure. That's been in the little teaser trailers and all that. But
I mean,
like
we saw them in the Marvels. So yeah.
right from unnamed universe. No, did it have a universe number? I don't remember.
I mean, Monica Rambeau is now in. Photon is now in with the Fox X-Men.
Is that confirmed to be
Fox-Men?
Fox X-Men? I don't know.
Fox-Men.
At this point, because the whole multiverse saga was such a mess, it doesn't matter. Who cares?
Okay.
Yeah, it's fine. But last week we were trying to hurry up with the pod because we needed to go watch Project Hail Mary, which we have.
Yeah.
Ben, you and I went on a date. It was wonderful.
Yeah. I've seen it twice now.
You had a hot dog. I had nachos, and then we. This is true.
Yeah.
And we watched Project Hail Mary. So Devon, you saw it. I don't know, a few weeks ago now. So now we can finally talk about it. So I guess spoilers if you're still waiting for it. But yeah,
read the book, y'all.
Read the book.
So even
spoilers.
if you read the book, you're like Devon said, one of the best book adaptation movies. Like they did it.
Yeah, which is boring because I've already seen that story. I already watched it up here in my dome when I read the book. So
yeah, However, so much of that I was thinking, oh gosh, how could they put that into a film? And they did.
Yeah,
like how cool! And
it's awesome.
It worked.
So maybe Avengers Doomsday will be the best adaptation of Project Hail Mary you've ever seen.
Maybe. Maybe.
That'd be great. Did everyone else's videos freeze or just mine?
Steven is frozen.
Oh,
Steven is frozen.
You guys are frozen to me.
Oh, well, geez. Okay. All right. Well.
Okay, that it should be back now. I noticed on my Discord it showed my ping suddenly dropped like crazy. So
well, it's a good thing you're the one recording.
Good thing.
Devon and I we recorded an entire episode in that moment. So.
Yeah.
And you didn't finish the short story, Ben?
I didn't finish the short story.
It's too bad. It's too bad.
Yeah. I should be fired from the podcast. Yeah, man. I think it's like Ryan Gosling's a great actor.
Yeah.
Just he did good.
Mm-hmm.
Acting on his own for a good portion of that film.
I mean, the
Yeah.
life they gave to Rocky was insane. Like, he was a fully realized character. Very rarely did I look at Rocky as an effect. It was
Right.
and I think that probably because he was mostly a puppet. From what I
That's
can
cool.
see from behind the scenes and stuff, which is great for the actor, because now Gosling can act opposite a thing and not a glowing, or glowing, but not a green ball on a stick, right?
Yeah. I think it adds a little bit more fun to the scenes where the puppet is telling the human to do a puppet show. Kind of cool.
Yeah.
It reminds me of Farscape with Rigel shouting, "I am nobody's puppet," and well,
being a puppet
he
himself.
is a puppet.
Where my
For all
Farscapers
you
at?
Farscape fans out there.
I see you got something on this list here, Ben, that says 1D chess. That sounds impossible.
You know it does, doesn't it? I came across I had my mom came into town. Hi mom.
Hi, Martha.
And we had a great time. And though it was so unusual for her visits, because we also had a huge storm roll through. And so
Yeah.
it meant
That was wild.
that a good portion of our between that and oh gosh, I don't think I told you guys this. Our what do you call it? The pump that regulates power steering went out on
Your power
on one
steering
of our
pump?
cars. The power steering pump, that's the one. It went out on one of our cars as Nicole was in major traffic for like a huge pileup that was on the grade.
Oh, yeah, I heard about that. About the pilot, at
Yeah.
least.
Yeah, and so she lost power steering while in that.
That
And
sucks.
so yeah, the car is in the shop today to figure out, okay, well, what happens? Because we were already thinking, like, is now the time to start considering an electric vehicle? What with rising gas prices and this car being a little bit out of
Although be careful, because some electric cars, the power steering pump is gas powered.
That's not true, Devon. Gosh.
You can't
Funny if it
prove
was.
You got to prove them
A little
wrong.
combustion motor on your steering column.
Right. Yeah, the air conditioning. The computer runs on gasoline.
Yeah. The computer's got a diesel backup in your trunk.
But so anyhow, while I was on vacation, I came across a website that is a new, as longtime listeners may know, I'm a big fan of chess variants, and I came across 1D chess, one-dimensional chess, where you play the beautiful game without all those unnecessary and complicated extra dimensions. Just one dimension, really easy. You're playing against an AI, and it's three pieces to a side. You're on a 1x8 board. You've got a king, a knight, and a rook against a king, a knight, and a rook. And the main thing, like winning, is to get a checkmate, of course. But
As you do.
yeah, but it is far harder to get a checkmate than to get a stalemate. And so it's pretty easy to get a stalemate. You're trying to get the appropriate steps to do a checkmate.
So,
in this little puzzle game.
Sounds like playing tic-tac-toe with my kids.
Yeah,
Mostly
it's kind of like
cats
playing
games.
tic-tac with kids. Right. Yeah. But it is a fascinating little thing, and there will be show note or links in our show notes, and check it out sometime. I know I sent this to you guys earlier in the week. Did you guys try it?
No. No, I'm
I'm trying it right now. It took me a second because I saw the banner and I'm like, well, where's the game? I didn't realize the banner was the game.
Banner's the game.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
Bruce Banner.
Okay, so
Wow.
when you go to
Draw.
that link, you can just play it there.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's just.
I see. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna lose.
I just won by checkmate. Okay, there we go.
Oh,
All right. I
well,
figured it out, you guys.
solved.
Yep. Solved.
Oh, by
So you
stone.
don't have to do it. Nobody needs to go there anymore. So
Is it just these three pieces? Doesn't change the
Yeah.
pieces?
I
So
mean,
the
it's
pieces-
1D. What else can you do?
the basic gist of it is that the pieces are a little different, right? A king moves one space, in any direction, left or right. A rook can move as many spaces as it possibly can, and then a knight it can hop. It hops over one space, and so that's kind of the one the knight being the one thing that's kind of unusual about this. And but it's it just moves 2 squares forward or backward and jumping over any pieces in the way. So figure it out.
Wouldn't it be a very limited number of games that can be played?
Yes. Yeah, there's
Like 6?
yeah,
I feel like-
there's not many this is a puzzle that has one solution.
Okay.
My
And so
tic-tac-toe
you
analogy was pretty apt, I think, because
Yes.
it's
Very
very.
much so.
There's only a few ways you can do this.
Draw by insufficient material.
Right? Yeah.
That's what it says on my check stub every week. If I got paid. I like at the bottom the credits.
Your
It's
wife
just
pays you?
you're getting paid. At the bottom, it says this chess variant was first described by Martin Gardner in the Mathematical Games column of the July 1980 issue of Scientific American. Could it get nerdier? I don't think so. That's
Nope.
peak. That's peak nerd right there.
Right? Yeah. July 1980 issue of Scientific American, the most popular issue of Scientific American. If you follow the Scientific American wiki,
What? Who follows the Scientific American wiki?
Siam wiki. I am currently creating this Scientific American wiki right now as we speak on the show.
Okay.
For all you Siam heads out there.
Sam heads? Oh yeah, I know about Sam heads.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on.
That went on a lot longer than I expected. But Stephen, what have you been up to?
Okay, well, the last thing on my list is I played a game of Shatterpoint with Christina's husband. Good old Greg. We're getting all excited about this.
Playing Shatterpoint.
Still playing Shatterpoint. It's been a while.
Yeah.
But after watching the Maul Shadow Lord, or what's it called? Lord of No. Yeah, Shadow Lord.
That's one for
Right.
all you mall heads out there.
Stop it. I don't accept that.
Mall rats, perhaps.
Mall rats. Sneak. All right. We played some Shatterpoint. And because we were watching Maul Shadow Lord, we got all excited about that. And so he played, he had Maul and the Samandos, what are they called? It was like Gar Saxon was one of them, and then like anyway, some Mandalorians.
Inquisitors?
No,
Oh,
I
okay.
actually did Inquisitors. So I did Inquisitors and Vader. So I did Darth Vader with Stormtrooper Sergeant and Stormtroopers, and then Inquisitor, Third Sister, and Fifth Brother. That was my squad. And then he had Maul with the Mandos, and who else did he have? Asajj Ventress, Savage Opress, if you guys remember him.
That's the brother of Maul.
Maul's brother. And then
Yeah, man.
Night Sisters. So he had Dathomirian synergy on his side. There's some Dathomirian stuff going on there. Now Vader, the version, there's like a bunch of different Vader variants in the game now. I think there's 3 of them. The one I used was Emperor's Servant, I believe. So his whole deal, the reason why he's an interesting character to play as, is if you don't wound another character, which is hard to do, he gets shuffled back into the deck of cards to activate. So what ends up happening he's a powerhouse. So he goes out swinging, a lot of dice rolled. But if you don't wound somebody, taking out all of their health down to 0, he's going to come back. And that the first round, he came back 3 different times. And in that little scenario, I took out Savage in 1 attack. I took out Asajj in 1 attack, and I took out. There were 3 that I took out. I think it was the Night Sisters. It was like I wounded all 3 of them, like bam, 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 in the first round, which was huge. And I was like, oh, this is gonna go great. Second round, he took it pretty quickly, and then the third round, it was a slugfest for a while. But he just outperformed me. So congratulations, Greg. You won Shatterpoint yet again. But it was fun, and
Jerk.
no,
Jerk.
Not jerk. A little bit of a jerk.
Thanks for playing. You're a jerk.
It was a ton of fun. It's been a while since we played Shatterpoint. Probably before Christmas. It must have been. It's been a while. So,
well,
yeah, that was fun.
Stephen, one thing that we haven't talked about is what else we did on our little date after we saw Project Hail and Harry. We came back to my place. We played a little game that you picked up called Vantage.
Vantage. I totally forgot about Vantage. Yeah.
And my wife and kid got into it too, which was pretty cool. My son got to stay up late.
So late. What was it, like 9:30?
Yeah.
Or was it closer to 10?
It was almost 10.
Yeah, it was pretty late.
Yeah, man. But that's quite a game. It's like a if you don't know, which why would you? Because
that's why we're here to tell you.
There's like millions of games out there, but it's essentially a big box. It's got a lot of cards in it, and Steven bought it all and brought it over, and it's like you're playing a choose your own adventure book, except it's a multiplayer game in which your like the entire thing is based on what you choose to do, and then how much cost that incurs on you, and then you do the next thing. It's just a bunch of choices.
Yeah, all of your choices are going to be successful. It's just how much health, time, or morale are you going to suffer for doing that thing successfully. And it's a big old choose your own adventure using cards. The story when the game starts is you've all been you're in space and you all are going to this planet. You were drawn there by the mysterious traveler, and then when you get there you crash land. So the game starts with you in a pod landing on the planet, and we roll some dice and everyone lands in a different location. We can all talk to each other, but we can't show each other the cards in front of us showing our location. There's a bunch of options that you can do on your card, and you can move locations. You can interact with something that's there on the card only once, unless special things. And we ended, as we were playing, we all had like vastly different experiences. Nicole ended up finding a mini game. There was this whole like
a game of chance.
Yeah, like, so she found an alien city and like went to the grungy part of town and then played these games of chance. And there was there's a name for it within the game. I forget what it is, but there was a pack of secret cards in the game. Excuse me. And when she found the rules, there's a whole nother big card full of rules on how to play this mini game. And within it was like, open the secret pack, pull out a random card. That's one of your cards that you play in this mini game. It is wild.
Eventually I started a blacksmithing business in the middle of like a snow swept hellscape.
Yeah.
and that ended up being our path to victory.
We had
a
minor victory.
Right, but like our main goal was to spread help or like assistance to whoever we came across.
It was like a
sort of like
philanthropic goal of sorts.
yeah,
Which,
humanitarian.
yeah, none of us ever figured out how to move that forward. But then you had, so that's like your mission, but then you also have destinies, and opening up a shop turned out to be one of our destinies. We had another one. Nicole got one for, it was like winning a bunch of games, so these gambling games. That destiny did not happen, but the opening a shop did. So hooray! Crash landed on an alien planet and opened a blacksmith shop.
I opened a shop, and then a couple of turns later, my son drew the destiny that would that was fulfilled by the shop I had already opened. And so,
did you open the shop first?
I did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was just like, oh, I wonder, because I'd had the shop, the blueprints for the shop, and had a lot of like different types of shop that I could have opened, and kept on thinking, oh, is this a good place? Is this a good place? And then it got to be so late. I was like, you know what? If I don't make one now, I'll never find out what, there's never going to be a good place to open the shop.
Yeah.
So, I'm in a frozen wasteland. What's the hottest thing I can do? Blacksmithing. Let's go.
Let's go.
Yeah.
So Vantage is one of those games. It is very clearly, it states several times in the rules that it is not a campaign game. And every time you play, you are crash landing onto this planet. And it says you should use your prior knowledge of playing the game to help make your decisions. So
if you land in the same place, then you can, and something good is happening, then you can like, well, hey, I've like in universe, you could be like, I've been on this planet before. Let me show you around, or like it's that sort of thing. So
sure,
yeah, that's kind of a cool bit.
It's got it was published by Stonemaier Games, and it has something like 1,700 cards in it. It's just a box full of cards, some dice, some tokens, and then a bunch of storybooks. And what they've done is they partnered with was it Pop Rules, or what was it called, Ben? Do you remember the little app that we used, like the web app? You still have it installed on your phone. You're pulling up your phone right now. I can see you.
I still have it installed on my phone, but I also am using my phone right now I'm not going to look it up.
All
Sorry.
right. No worries. But it's cool because when you every card has a number, and so when you choose to Rule Pop is what it was called. Yes.
Rule Pop.
When you choose to do something on a card, like I'm going to take a look action, you have to go to the look storybook, look up that card, and then there's a passage to read about what the challenge is and then what happens next. And so it comes with a bunch of these storybooks, but Rule Pop is a digital version of that for free, and you can just enter in that, and it just pops up with the entry, and so you can just read it that way, and you don't have to worry about passing books around the table, stuff like that. So that was very useful, and it had really helped to speed up the game. That was really cool.
Yeah, and it's a progressive web app. So like, I love progressive web apps, you guys.
We know how you love your web apps.
Yeah, especially when they're progressive. So
gotta be progressive. Devon's still here. I can see him.
Yep.
Hi,
even
Devon.
though we can't hear
I'm
him.
here.
Let's move. I just wanted to. Just hadn't heard from him in a while. Let's move on to future or now.
Now.
There we go. Ben, tell us about whatever that is. Five Fox?
I don't know how it's pronounced. It might be Fifox, but the basic idea here is, and hat tip to Hacker News, they had an article went up that's about this I guess you could say it's a utility that you can put onto your smartphones, both on Android and on iOS. And the basic idea about it is it unlocks you being able to receive particular amounts of data based on all of the sensors that are in your phone.
Okay,
So,
like gyroscopes and stuff.
gyroscopes, cameras, everything. Like using the barometer that is in your phone to determine the rate that the elevator that you're currently in is going.
Really
But
important
like,
stuff.
well, I mean, so you can run these physical experiments using a smartphone and get the data out. You can, so like one person had said, the coolest thing I ever did with this app was finding wires in a friend's wall. We needed to drill a hole, and it was unclear whether the wires went up, which would have been a problem, or right from the outlet. I didn't have a cable finder on hand, but I did have the epiphany to put a large load on the outlet. We used a kettle. A hairdryer would also work, but needs a lot of watts, and used the Fourier transform magnet spectrum to find the 50 hertz grid frequency in the wall. Worked beautifully. Sadly, since
Okay.
most, yeah, right, like you
That's
can use
cool.
this tool to do stuff like that. A lot of the sensors that are in it, in the app, you can actually see that there is instructions and wiki information and videos about how to use each one of these, and each one of these sensors. And one of the cool things is that, like, hey, maybe if you've got a kid that's school aged around and they're doing a lot of science experiments, you can use your phone like a modern day tricorder in order to conduct physical experiments in the world
That's
around you.
wild. That's completely
Mhm.
wild.
So cool. So yeah, check it out. It is free, and like how cool is it to use these devices that have kind of been turned from tool into surveillance machines,
Yeah.
turn it back into a tool, you
Are
know?
there things that they could add? Like, I mean, I wouldn't want to add like aftermarket stuff and go in and add sensors, but could like Apple or Google, whoever, people making the smartphones specifically think like, oh, we should put like a sensor package in that can do even more stuff. And then I guess they would have the app themselves to say like, look, now you can get this app where your phone will, do this other cool stuff.
The so what's interesting is that as I go through the app on my iPhone, I can see that there are certain tests that they have that are grayed out. And I'm presuming that's because those are sensors or features that exist on other smartphones that are not on my
Mm-hmm.
particular phone. And so I think that as more and more of these sensors do get placed into the phones, everything from audio sensors to detecting, like your low light detectors, your face ID sensors, your, everything from cameras to accelerometers to gyroscopes, all that information is already in this package that, you know, different cell phone manufacturers, smartphone manufacturers put different ones in there that, yeah, this just kind of exposes that data. So I imagine that the app will probably get updated as time goes along to have different stuff, So
Well, as the phones come out with new versions that might have new stuff in it
yeah, yeah.
that
So
we're
like
not
for
aware of
example,
that they just add in to spy on us, and then
I
exactly.
mean, I wonder if some phones like this will lead people to discover, oh, my phone has that thing in it, but because I didn't pay, I don't have access to it.
Right,
You know what
right.
I mean? Like they've
Yeah.
they've done that with like when I say they, like graphics cards. Sometimes will
Mm,
have features that are locked because the version of the graphics card is the cheaper version of it.
is it just
And so they'll
easier
just
to manufacture the full version and then just lock it instead of manufacturing a separate version? I guess
yeah,
you make them pay for it, I guess. I guess it's like your
yeah.
graphics card can do all this cool stuff, but now that you have it, pay extra to get that stuff.
So another example here was somebody said that most recently they used it to check light levels at home in different rooms to determine where they needed to boost or replace LED strips. And even though there's a million lux meter apps, Firefox is better than all of them and demonstrates why these things shouldn't be dedicated apps in the first place. And so,
Hmm,
and also in the past, they had made use of EM and vibration frequency displays to troubleshoot hardware. So,
that's cool.
yeah.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
there was a time when I remember the iPhone, there was an app for the flashlight. It wasn't
Mm,
just integrated into the iOS. So this is kind of
right.
similar to that, where it's like this is something you already have. It shouldn't be. You can only access it in a certain way.
Right,
let us
because
access it however we want to.
the light on your phones was initially made to just be a flash for your camera, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Like that was what it was designed for, but it has other uses, and so this is, yeah, it's a cool app. It's free. Check it out. Unlock all the features of your phone, and yeah, uh,
And
more on
check
this
light
as it develops.
levels.
Right, go for
Yeah.
it. So, yeah. So, Steven, now that you're back, you sound a little differently than you did earlier in the episode. What's going on, man?
Yeah, my internet dropped, and so now we're recording in a different way. Um, I don't. The internet around here, around our place, has been awful lately. We had a guy come out and he replaced the entire line going from the pole like directly into the modem. Like all of that is like new wiring, and apparently it was all old and like okay, because our internet was dropping like every couple of hours, and
So
then
that's not good for your wife when she's working from home, on
exactly.
video calls. Yeah.
Yes, it was very bad.
Jeez.
Plus, I live online. The kids have their tablets. It's the whole thing. And then the other thing is when I like contacted Spectrum, which is our only option here, they're like, "Oh yeah, we're doing maintenance in your area, so expect things to not be perfect." And on Friday, yeah, last Friday, um, I got our internet dropped, and I got a text that was uh, hey, your service area, the service in your area is gone because of a power outage. And this was in the morning. They said estimated time to have it back up was like 8 p.m. So it was like,
Oh,
oh, sorry, we don't know. The whole day is gone. A couple hours later, it was back up. It's been constant. Now it's out. Now I'm waiting for a text from Spectrum again to be like, sorry, everything's out. But that's fine. We will persist. We will resist, and we will talk about flies.
We will
So
insist. We will desist.
racist. What other
Get
cysts
our
do we have?
cysts operated on.
Drain our cysts. Okay, so this is pretty cool. I saw this on the Instagram feed last month. And was like, oh, that looks cool, but I never looked into it. But then now I have. Scientists at Eon Systems, a neurotechnology company based in San Francisco, and focused on whole brain emulation, successfully copied the biological brain of a fruit fly, or Drosophila melanogaster, and simulated it in a computer to control a virtual fruit fly. Now, what I saw online first was the YouTube video. So the company posted a video of it to say, look at this. There's a link in our show notes. You can watch it right now, and it looks like a like low res fruit fly just kind of crawling around digitally. And you're like, okay, what's the big deal there? And then you realize nothing has been programmed into this
wow.
critter. It's just a copy of its brain put into this with and then giving it the appropriate stimulation, and it walks around. It like rubs its feet together. It's thinks it's alive, which is interesting. It looks like my internet's back now. Cool. um, so watching that video, I was like, this is interesting. So now I've looked into it. I've got a couple of links, and actually now my internet's back, I don't have to do it on my phone. I can use a website. Let me just get back into our notes here real
Welcome
quick.
to the 1990s, Steven.
This is drastic. All right, where's it at? There it is. I'm gonna use the futurism link. The first one that popped up was from Profilus.com, and I don't know that, but I know futurism.com. Um, let's see. A company claims you have taken a totally different simulated. So 125,000 neurons and 50 million synaptic connections are in an adult fruit fly's brain. Um, so let's see. They did who did a scan? The experiment builds on research by Eon's senior scientist Philip Shue and his colleagues, which was published in the journal Nature in 2024. At the time, the researchers said that they had created a complete computational model of the entire fruit fly brain to, quote, study circuit properties of feeding and grooming behaviors. I want to say that we covered this back in 2024, but I do not completely
I think
remember.
we mentioned it. I'm pretty
It
sure we
might have been one of those things, yeah. Um, for the research, they found that their computational model predicted the motor behavior of the simulated fly with a 95% accuracy. We show that activation of sugar sensing or water sensing gustatory neurons in the computational model accurately predicts neurons that respond to taste and are required for feeding initiation, the paper reads. So that's pretty darn neat. Let's see, Weisner Gross. Who's Weisner Gross? Who is that? Scroll up to the top here. Eon Systems co-founder Alex Weisman Gross. Let's see, no, right there. I already read that part. Well, now scientists at Eon Systems have put the pieces together, providing the disembodied brain with, quote, somewhere to go. By leveraging an embodied simulation framework dubbed NeuroMechFly version 2 and developed by neuroengineers at the Swiss Federal Technology Institute of Lausanne, the team integrated, quote, Eon's connectome-based brain emulation with a physics-simulated fly body. The result, multiple distinct behaviors driven by the emulated brain's own circuit dynamics. Sensory input flows in, neural activity propagates through the complete connectome, motor commands flow out, and a physically simulated body executes the output, closing the loop from perception to action for the first time in a whole brain emulation. Guys, we're there. They matrix to fly, you guys.
Yeah, it's like the first thing in the Matrix is this fly. There's some
Yeah.
great comments to the YouTube page. One is, "Oh, sweet, man-made horrors beyond my comprehension."
Yeah, that's a good one.
It's only Monday.
And
Sheepers.
it's only Monday. Yeah. Just really cool. There's oh yeah, there we go. Spectrum alert. There's a service outage in your area. Restoration estimated by 3 p.m. Sorry for the inconvenience. Yeah. Cool. Thanks, Spectrum.
Stephen, if you want to come over and hang out,
Maybe. We'll see.
I have internet. What do you have?
My internet's back now. It's I don't know.
Sure.
Probably gonna go away again. Because of this, I've also seen some things that are saying, hey, the first AI or not AI, the first digital brains aren't going to be created. They're going to be copied. This is at this point, it's a scaling issue. It's we've got this thing, we scanned it, we gave it an artificial body, and it reacts how we expect it to react, as if it is, quote, alive. Just do more, and then we could copy a human in there. I don't know what
Were they
that's
able
going to
to
do.
copy the love?
What? Say that one more time.
What
I
about
said, but
love?
were they able to copy the love? Just
Yes.
rather than say consciousness, I was trying to make it funnier, but
I mean, if you boil all of our actions, thoughts, and emotions down to our brain patterns, which that's not how it works, then yeah, you would copy love. But like for a human, and even this fly, if we could talk to it, it would not be right, because it's not doing everything. It's just doing a simulation of just the brain. You need to simulate everything else for it to be accurate. First time we copy a human brain and turn it on, it's going to just start screaming because
when you say you're
it's
simulating just the brain, I feel like that would be enough, but it depends on which level you're simulating the brain and which level you need to simulate the brain in order to completely recreate whatever the original conscious entity is. But
what do you mean by level?
well, you said you need to recreate everything, not just the brain. I'm like, well, what do you mean by that?
I mean, like hormones, chemicals. There's other things that affect you as a person than just
Well, then I
what
guess
your
what you're
brain
saying, you're
sees.
not just copying the structure of the brain, you're copying the way the brain functions, which would be part of the software that you're recreating the thing in. So I don't know. I mean, yeah, I saw this, I thought it was cool, but
Hmm.
I'm questioning, like you said, like, is it just like we know this area of the brain of the fruit fly does this?
Hmm.
Um, so I guess it's hard to explain because I don't know enough about neuroscience. But like you're saying, like to what extent are we simulating it? Just the structure and then simulating like interactions between the neurons, or exactly how those neurons are interacting, to what extent, and like how much do we actually know about how even a fruit fly's brain works, other than just the structure of the neurons and the chemical reactions?
Uh,
But
I mean, that's yes. We don't know, and I think this is a step in that direction where we can take the simulation, slow it down, analyze it, figure out how these connections really work. Um, is it an exact copy of a fruit fly, like Matrix style, like how, sci-fi is conditioned us to believe? No, I don't believe that at all. Like to accurately simulate human, you need way more sensory input. Um, because we're very complex individuals. And I don't think it doesn't sound like by reading through these couple of articles that this simulation does anything besides just fruit fly brain processing, and that's it.
Mhm.
Um, they say, they gave it stimulus. So like there are in the little video, you can see there's like some food nearby and it goes and like activates on the food. Its little mouth bits come out. So it's interacting with stimulus. But I'm curious, like how much stimulus does a fruit fly brain really process? And I, you know, there's a lot of big question marks. But I think this is a cool first step. And and I'd like to see. I mean, we got a fruit fly in a matrix. What comes next? Um, just keep going. Got to populate that thing with NPCs before you can get in there and start shooting. You know what I mean? America. All right. We're gonna.
Okay.
Well, yeah. Whatever. We're gonna take a break. When we come back, my audio will maybe be different, and we'll see.
We'll see.
And we're gonna do book club. So hopefully everyone has read Terms of Enlightenment by Patrick Hurley. There's a link in the show notes to the lightspeedmagazine.com website where it is hosted. It's a short story, but it's not super short. I think it takes a good 10 to 15 minutes to read probably. Um, what was the audio, Ben? Like 40 minutes or so? I think there's an audio thing in there if you want to listen to it instead.
Devon would know.
You
yeah,
would
it's
know.
about 40 minutes. The whole audio track is an hour, but it starts off with another story. So if you skip to like the 20-minute mark, then it's this story for the rest of it.
Right on.
Oh, so the story only takes about 20 minutes to listen to then.
No, 40. The first 20 is something else.
Okay.
I
So
thought the
the
whole
first
track was about
track
an
is like
hour.
oh, I see. I see. Okay. Well, if that's what you want to do that. If you want to read it, do that. If you want to do none of the above, hey, it's your brain. You figure out how it works. So we'll be right back.
Oh, wow. Another free listener. Incredible. Look, I love that you're here, but let's be real. You could be getting so much more. Bonus episodes, unfiltered takes, behind the scenes chaos. All you have to do is join our Patreon at patreon.com/science faction podcast. Or don't. But if you don't, just know that somewhere in a parallel universe, a better version of you already has.
And we're back.
Hello.
Hi.
And Devon's here too.
I'm here.
But okay, very good. And a big thank you to our patrons for listening to all of our nonsense. Thanks, Renee and Josh. If you'd like to be a patron and listen to more of our nonsense, we have a lot of a lot of nonsense, but also occasionally we say things that are that one would think we'd want to put on the show proper, but we don't
No.
because that's too much work.
Nope. It's only for
And-
those two special individuals,
Yeah.
finely crafted just for them.
Lots of cursing and lots
cursing and dropped calls and
of
terrible audio. Thanks, guys.
We're just living through a grandson song, as usual, I guess.
A what?
Grandson. Do you listen to
What music?
Grandson?
I don't know. What is that?
I've been listening to
Oh.
Grandson for like 6 years.
What
You're
are you guys
awesome.
talking about?
You're far cooler than me, Devon. I highly recommend, Stephen. I'll send you a link to their Grandson song, "Autonomous Delivery Robot,"
Oh, you've sent that.
which is
They're early,
oh yeah,
I mean,
we already did.
all their stuff
and
is
we
good.
also
but
sent
they're-
I also sent Brain Rot to you too, didn't I? Those are some two good songs off their latest album.
Okay. I don't remember. Maybe I didn't
You
listen to it when you
Gotta
sent
pay
it.
more attention.
Blood Water is the song I first heard of theirs.
Right on. Yeah, I like Self-Immolation. That's another good one.
What are you guys talking? Is this real?
These-
This is real.
Are you guys
We're not-
jackassing me?
They're-
Well, I mean, we usually do, Stephen, but not in this case.
All right.
Yeah, get with it, bro. I'm curious.
Saddle man.
Yeah, dude. Oh, so Dark Nectar, our local
Coffee?
like coffee metal venue, metal
Yeah.
music venue. It's shut down.
It
Yeah.
did?
Yeah. It's now got a for lease sign up in front of it. So
That sucks.
Yeah. sorry,
I-
sorry to
I
be
know
that
it
news.
was like going through some stuff, but because I follow them on Instagram, all of our like little local shops in that area, and they were like, "Oh, news coming soon," like as if they were going to reopen, like they were temporarily shut down or something. But yeah, I don't know. Bummer.
Mm. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But all things end. That's,
Yeah,
I guess, part of it, right?
I wanted to go to a show there, and now I never can.
Yeah. Sounds like we gotta
Sure.
seize the day a little bit more, huh, Stephen?
Yeah, not enough day seizing around here. Speaking of day seizing, let's talk about book club so we can end this travesty.
Yeah. So next week we're going to read a story by Namita Krishnamurthy called "Morning Shed," and if you're what kind of drew me to this is there was a little summary, like a single sentence summary. It says, "Every few years, my face erupts in a frenzy of eyes." If that sounds interesting to you, check it out. Links will be in the show notes from strangehorizons.com.
Horrifying.
And yeah,
Sounds horrifying.
yes,
I can't
yeah.
wait.
Here we go.
This one's for you, Martha. And we know how you like the weird stuff.
Oh man,
I'm of course talking to Superman's mom. All right,
that's right. And Batman's mom.
No, she's dead.
Hmm.
Remember?
Okay, you're talking to my mom, who is not dead, very much
No,
alive.
no.
I just put her on a train this morning.
Wait, when I said Superman's mom, you thought I was calling you Superman, Ben?
Why weren't you?
You're no Superman. That's the other thing we've been watching is the Scrubs, the Scrubs reboot.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Ah, so
Nice.
scattered. This week, Terms of Enlightenment by Patrick Hurley. Let's talk about it.
Sure.
Who read it? Who read it?
I listened to it.
Devon listened to it. Ben
Devin did. Nope. I'm very close to the end right now.
Okay.
I mean,
So-
the end is kind of important because it's like I wouldn't say a twist, but there is definitely a climax that makes the whole thing make more sense-ish.
Very cool. Okay.
Which we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about this whole thing. So earlier in this episode, we talked about putting flies in a matrix. This whole story is that kind of. So this story takes place in a future in which there's something called VSIM rehabilitation. virtual simulation. It seems like when in this future, when people get in trouble, they are rehabilitated in a virtual environment. They have to put on a suit and go into a matrix and be taught things. And this main character in the protagonist of the story, Jay, has found himself in that scenario. And one of the things that they bring up is that he doesn't know like who he's talking to. Like a robed man. A robed man smiled. A manila folder manifested in his hand as if by magic. He appeared to read through it, but Jay thought it was just for show since the data absorption should have been instantaneous. You don't know if who you're talking to is a real person or an AI construct. And it seems like the lines have really been blurred with those kinds of things.
And so he's in this monastery, and
well, that's where he's sentenced. Yeah, he's sentenced to a monastery, to reach some kind of enlightenment. But it seems like the kind of person he is the kind of person who pokes at the rules and sees what he can get away with, and so he starts doing that. Devon, what did you think about this? Because the whole thing starts with like a trial, so that must have hit you at least a little bit familiarity
in your feels, Soul Crusher.
Crush his soul's more. He's not dead enough on the inside.
I mean, I was listening to it, so that also makes it a little different. Sorry, Steven, you said you read it, right?
Yes, I read it.
Okay, so it's also interesting because the narrator gave the protagonist a little bit of like a British accent, but
interesting,
like a Cockney kind of criminal, like you would see in a that director. I think he made like Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels.
And Snatch and
like that kind of a criminal type thing. So that's what I imagined because it sounded like that.
Okay.
That doesn't really matter, but for some reason it kind of does in my head. But anyway, that wasn't important. I thought it was interesting. That it was like
is important. That's cool.
Yeah. It's like we got it's like an interesting way of rehabilitation. I've seen it in sci-fi before where it's like your rehabilitation is in your head in a way. I mean, I know this is like a real-time simulation, so it's not like they just implanted these memories of being rehabilitated into his head. But the idea that you're rehabilitated in a fictional environment is kind of interesting. And in that environment being kind of a monastery, basically, and having this person having to go through that experience unwillingly, but then still learning from it is interesting. I thought it was funny how it was like, this is VR, so why do we have to actually, eat or clean dishes and do things? I thought it was almost going to get to the point where it's like, it's so realistic. Maybe this is reality. Maybe you're not in a VR simulation. Maybe that's the twist. But that's not the case.
That's not the twist.
It's just the fact that, you're doing daily tasks is kind of like that's what life is, and that's what keeps you grounded, blah, blah, blah.
It is the cat and mouse game that happens in monastic life.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of what goes on at the monastery is similar to the things I've read in a lot of Zen koans, where someone shows up with their expectations of how things are, and that through our natural curiosity that is tested and changed, and so the main character Jay is he does not know it, but he is on the path to enlightenment, and
Well, the way that it starts off too is kind of cool. So the abbot says, "I don't think you realize how lucky you are. Many applicants spend years donating time and money until a space finally opens here. Some of them may be upset, but no matter. I'm the abbot, and you may stay with us for as long as enlightenment takes. How long will that be? The abbot raised an eyebrow and finally said, 5 years. What if I try really hard? Meditate for 8 hours a day or something? The abbot raised a finger. 10 years. I just said I'd try really hard. 20 years. So it's like very clearly like you're going about this the wrong way. And then the response is the logic wasn't too hard to stand on its head. Jay asked, what if I put in absolutely no effort at all and just enjoy your free room and board? The abbot's mouth fell open. Evidently, this wasn't a reply he was used to. Finally, he answered, you are an unusual specimen. So
Now,
at that point, you're like, okay, something's going on here.
That's yeah. So what ends up through this and through a few other moments in the story is you come across essentially a retelling of a bunch of Zen koans. So like this question and answer of, if I try harder, will it take less time for me to attain enlightenment? The answer is no. That's a very common, or that is a story I've also heard through Zen koans. And everything from also the like carrying the pretty woman across the stream later on. It's just kind of I think it's fascinating how those things are intertwined in this. This person did some homework and found a way to put a new suit around some stories that are of the tradition, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Devon, you were about to say something.
I was going to say, so you're saying you can't speed run enlightenment. That's disappointing.
Well, not by effort.
So I could be lazy and speed run. That's even better.
There is like a particular way of thinking about it, which is, oh man, okay, all right. Here we go. Enlightenment is something that you already possess. The second that you're on the path to it,
Man, that was easy.
You're already there. Being on the path, you've hit it. Then the question is, well, what is enlightenment? What is it for you? What is it for me? Is it the same thing? Is it something to be reached for and attained, like getting a new suit, or is it something else entirely? If you've already had it, where did it go?
You've been thinking about this stuff, Ben.
For a long time, Stephen. For a long time.
I'm gonna read another bit out of the story. Point taken, said Jay. So let me get this straight. You preach letting go of attachment and transcending reality, yet you all live in a simulation using thousands of terabytes of data just to pretend you live in the real world. Jay hoped his jab would rile the abbot, but instead the man smiled even more widely. Yes, and the end goal of our practice, as in the so-called real world, is to wake up from the illusion. Here we train to live in reality so that when our time is over, we can see through it. Right. So yeah, the story has a lot of cool stuff like that in it. That's for sure.
Right. Yeah, Jay assumes that the illusion that they're trying to wake up from is the one that's on the surface level that they have of the virtual environment that they're in. But that's not what the abbot is saying is the goal.
All right, so let's get to the twisty bit. So the abbot sends him to town to pick up the new abbot, and the new abbot very quickly is like, yo, I'm like a hacker, like check this out, and he like draws symbols in the air and like changes things in the environment, and Jay's like, this is amazing. And then that is it at that point where they get to like carrying the woman across the stream?
That happens before I think he reveals himself.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm here on a mandated. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, but the guy is like a con man. He's like, I'm here to basically take advantage of all of this. So do you want to join me? Because you're also a criminal and you can work with me to do this. Right?
I've already got admin privileges, my son. Now watch. The would-be abbot drew several more glowing symbols in the air. Everything around them fell silent. When Jay noticed a falling leaf paused mid-descent, he realized reality itself had come to a standstill. Far from being intrigued, Jay felt mildly offended. After living in this V-sim for so long, breaking the illusion felt like a violation. So yeah, he's like, here, scan me. And within the fiction, there's you have like an avatar ID that's like connected to your genetics somehow, so it's unique. And their name is Floyd Gandolfino, which is the man was a legend, a consummate huckster, founder of over a dozen cults, stealing credit cards and data from whole cities. Then one day he just disappeared, vanishing so thoroughly everyone thought he was dead. But instead he's in here. And Devin, you want to talk about the twist?
And feel free to. Yeah.
Okay, so the thing is, though, when the main character was on his way to this village, he came by a tiger. Was it a lion or tiger?
Tiger.
A tiger, yeah.
Tiger, and he evades the tiger in a certain way. It doesn't really matter. But any questions like, well, if I die in here, will I just wake up? Will I just respawn? Either way, it'll be painful, so let's just avoid that. So he knows going back to the monastery with this guy, there's a tiger somewhere, and he's like, do I warn the guy about it? And I think he does decide, like, the right thing to do would be to warn him. And so he warns the guy, but the guy's like, I have admin privileges, it's no big deal. If a tiger comes, I'll just delete it or whatever. So the tiger comes, and the guy tries to use his admin privileges, and it doesn't work. But then the main character uses his ability to kind of see past this reality, like they've been talking about, essentially. And he has the ability to now go into the code and get rid of this tiger.
He has a Neo moment.
Like, it's very Neo.
I know Kung Fu. No, I know
seeing the code.
Seeing the code, essentially. Yeah.
And then it turns out that this bad guy or whatever, he is what's his name? The head monk guy.
The abbot. He is the abbot. He
is the abbot.
Yeah. And he is really this Gandalfino like cult.
Yeah, because the main character's like, well, how are you able to mimic the biosigns of this criminal? He's like, well, because I am that guy. I've been here and I've sought enlightenment, so now I am a changed person. So that's kind of a nice twist that he is this bad guy. He was putting the main character through a test, but he is also this bad guy who has also reformed and had this work for him. So it's kind of a nice little bow on the story.
Yeah. In any event, you've proven yourself and answered my question. What, really? You defied a con man who tempted you into defrauding innocence. To save him, you achieved oneness and received an understanding of the program so deep you transcended its reality. You saw through the illusion and found your way. It may not be our way, but it's yours, just as is your enlightenment.
So
I can see you smiling, Ben.
Well, yeah, like one of my favorite little lines here is, in order to save Gandolfino from the tiger, he had his Neo moment, and it says here the programming glyphs had been available to him this whole time. They'd always been there. Only by stilling his thoughts, by stepping outside of himself and into the moment, could Jay see them. It was terrifying. It was wonderful. It was too much to take in for long. Again, the path, you're already on it. If you're on it, you have it. It's And then again, like, is enlightenment something where you vanish miraculously into nothingness? Or are you still, like, what's the difference between an enlightened being and a non-enlightened being? What were you expecting? Were you expecting something?
Stop bullets or not?
Well, what was he expecting something to be? Yeah, right. Well, there's that, right? But like, it's being able to see what really is happening, right? Which is really what Neo is doing. He sees the code because that's what really is happening in that world. Then here, he sees the code. He sees what's really happening. He sees the truth of the man that he's talking to. He sees, a bunch of different truths, but also it's not like it's a comfortable thing. It was terrifying and wonderful, and it was too much to take in for long.
Well, like the next line after but it's yours, just as is your enlightenment. The abbot patted Jay on the shoulder, then shoved him off the ledge. Jay screamed as he fell, but then he remembered that in here, gravity was just an illusion. Jay smiled and woke up. Like, yeah, he had to. Yeah, that's so. Like this story is. I mean, and we've talked about its connections with the popular 1999 film The Matrix, because these things do go hand in hand with each other. This whole idea of a virtual environment and what's real and what's not. Same thing with our reality and what things we should be concerned about and what things we shouldn't, and what is really an illusion, and you know, suffering and all this stuff. The two really do go hand in hand with each other really, really well. And while this story is definitely not like a Matrix style ripoff, some of the things in it ring very true to what is being said in the Matrix. There is no spoon, right? It's only you that is bending. There's all that good stuff.
Yeah.
This was it was a bit of a longer read than what we usually do, but this was great. I really enjoyed this story, twist and all. I didn't see it coming. I know we kind of ruined the ending there for you, Ben, but before that,
No,
how were
actually,
you enjoying the story?
I finished it well, right in time.
Fine then. Okay.
Right in time.
Then what do you think, sir?
I love it. Yeah, no, it's a fantastic way of bundling up these Zen principles in a science fiction package, and I don't mind. I mean, every time I come across these stories, I do not mind rereading them because of the truths that they point to. And so to have that with science fiction is really nice. Very nice. Yeah. So Devon, how about you?
Yeah, I liked
what
it.
accent was the abbot in, Devon?
I don't. It was just a standard American accent, as far as I can recall.
Boring.
He had kind of like a deep, wise sounding voice.
A little Morpheus-like.
Yeah.
What do you think, Devon, of the story?
I enjoyed it. I when he had met the guy who was like gonna be a con man, it was a little cliche or a little over the top. So I was like, well, that's kind of a disappointing result. Like, I'm sure the main character is going to end up, like defeating this guy or whatever, but it's like such a cartoony bad guy. But then the fact that it, was a test and it did happen, and it is true. Like that's who I used to be. I thought that was a good twist to it. So I made up for it. I enjoyed it. I liked it enough to where I would actually be interested to see what this author has done in other places.
Oh, that's some high praise from Devon.
Yeah.
There we go.
Curiosity. You piqued Devon's curiosity. You win.
Way to go, Patrick Hurley.
Good job, Patrick.
You got it. Yeah. All right.
So let's see. This was published. March. Oh, this just came out, March 2026.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. What else have they written? Do we know?
Zekalo's Barter House and Emporium is another story that's published also in Lightspeed magazine, but he's had fiction published in a lot of different things. So he lives in Seattle.
Patrick Hurley has had fiction published in dozens of markets, including Factor 4, Abyss and Apex, Galaxy's Edge, and New Myths. Huh. As a graduate of the Dow Toolbox Writers Workshop, Patrick lives in Seattle, where he works for Paizo Inc. as their managing editor. And he's got a website, patrickhurleywrites.com. There you go.
Right. Yeah.
Check him out, Devon.
And he works like in Paizo. He works on games, Pathfinder, 2nd edition.
Yeah, that's like a it's not D&D, but it's very close to D&D.
Yeah, and Starfinder and yeah. So
he's a nerd. Nerd alert. Obviously.
The best kind. Best kind.
Yeah. Okay, gentlemen. That is it for book club this week. Let's get out of here. Devon, give us something, man. Give us some thought that is rolling around in your head.
Oh man, it's hard to put someone on the spot like that.
Every week. It happens every week, Devon. I don't know if
Yeah,
you
and I can always just say no, or I got nothing.
Yeah, but
don't have to-
the question didn't allow for a no. Thanks, Stephen.
Well,
we just do my thing and,
Yeah, we'll
and
just-
be done with the long drawn out silence.
more silence. Ready? Great.
Yeah,
all right,
he
well,
understood
Ben,
the assignment.
do you
Yeah,
have
what's
any
up?
last words? Do you have any last words for us?
Yo, so what do you call a calculator that does not procrastinate? A punctuator.
Good night, everybody.
This has been the Science Faction Podcast. Tweet to the host at SciFact Podcast. Email them at sciencefactionpodcast@gmail.com and visit sciencefactionpodcast.com for more episodes.